From the Divine Illiad, Volume 2. Preface. If these words be read as words of mine, then indeed are they but mine, and I have failed to translate true those inspired words of light, written upon my heart by Him whom thou art, and whom I am, as I am also thee. If these words be read as I am I, and thou art thou, and the skies and the winds and trees are things apart, separable and separate, and God afar, beyond, unknowable and unreachable, then have I failed indeed my Father's work to do, and are my words to thee unholy things, and I who wrote them down am to thee unholy. If these words be read as words alone, and not as that one ideal of unity, the star, the morning dew, thou, the violet, and me, all one, then are my words but words. If these words be read by man to whom love is but a word, measurable, and by him controlled, then indeed is God's messenger of love dead, and do I blaspheme his name, by resurrecting him in me as God's messenger of love. So hear me when I say that if thou art not God's messenger of love, then has the Nazarene lived on earth for naught. To me all things in this universe are one, and that one the God of creation, whom I am, and thou art also he, when thou knowest that thou art. If God lives, he lives in thee and me. Was that divine ideal of love meant for God's illumined messengers alone, whose clay has long returned to dust? Or does God's love live in thee and me? If God be one, creator of all, then I am he, and I am all, and I am his knowing and his thinking, and I am creating with my knowing and my thinking. Is the beach just grains of sand, or is the sand the beach? Is the beach one thing, or is it grains of sand divisible? If these words be only mine, then am I but a grain of sand, and not the beach. And as a grain of sand, my words are little words for other grains of sand like me. But if I am the beach, my words are not alone mine, but ocean's words, and therefore are they mighty with all of ocean's majesty. And to thee, if thou art but a grain of sand, these words are too big, and ocean's words as though they were not. If I be but clay alone, and not eternal man, and eternal man not God, then were all God's illumined messengers of light also but clay, and not knowing sons of God. Such is not my thinking, for that which lived in them was love, which could not die. So lives in me as light of love, by which I am anointed. Love, if it be more than word, is eternal light of God. And if light of God, and if light of love be in my knowing, then art thou the Son of God through thy knowing. My illumined knowing is herein set down in words of man's sensing, translated from God's language of light, through which God speaks to all inspired sons of light who know God's love in them. When thou knowest love, then shalt thou know that neither thou, nor sun, nor blade of grass, can say the words, I am alone I. For in my Father's house there is but one, and that one he, and thee, and me.